So, of the very few speeches, honestly, that I've heard of great people, I remember one by Dalai Lama. He says that in the practice of tolerance, one's enemy is the best teacher. It kept me pondering, enemy in this context could be anything, like simply as simple as your fears or your own angry self. And tolerance rules over all this. Quite recently, I saw a movie, and this quote, came back to me again. I do not know how many of you have seen this Tamil movie called Asuran. It's really an exceptional piece in which, the mother's built tolerance over her grief and ownership over her son and family starkly attracted me. It even made her win the whole, audience attention, according to me. It surely attracted me, and I think it's the character to learn from for all of us. Those who haven't watched the movie, please do go and watch. And so here's our take on the next collage, Under the Umbrella of Tolerance. தலைச்சும் புள்ளை இல்லாம செதஞ்சது எத்தனை ஆச்சு நீயே இங்க ராசாவா படத்துக்கு தாயோட பாரோ மாசம் தத்தையா தாங்காம நீயும் போனா தத்தையா தாயோட பாரோ மாசம் தத்தையா தாங்காம நீயும் போனா தப்பையா.
Over to you, ma'am.
That was mesmerizing, Gobiga. I'm sure everyone would agree on that. Okay, give me a second to please present my screen. Is the screen visible? Is the screen visible? Somebody, please.
Yeah, Prathi, it's visible.
Okay.
Yeah, clear.
Yes,
yeah.
Great. Okay. So this poem is dedicated to all women and their flowers, their monthly flowers. I wish to say by writing this poem that I am with you in understanding all the woes and weariness of the monthly cycles. So, title Cramped. 1 minute, I lay across the bed, chest down, moist eyes, no words, and agony painted all over my face and body. The next minute, I curled up like a helpless embryo with my folded, sore, and heavy thighs brushing the tender, swollen breasts. I grabbed my favorite purple cushion, mercilessly crushed it against a soft tummy, and into the little pillow I hoped to dump all my pain, and bravely let out only a few muffled mutters. 25 minutes later, weeping like a child, with pain inexplicable, I decided to brush aside all advice on grit, tolerance, and green teas. I popped a pill and gulped a glass of cold water. I held on to the cozy cushion like the sailor's last life jacket and let few minutes pass by, pondering on the inevitable monthly misery. I kept fidgeting with the concentric patterns on my cushion, resembling the reel of feminine fate, tirelessly swirling month after month, and found myself cursing womanhood, hormones, and all the woes that tagged along. I had fallen asleep. After an hour, I lifted up my sleepy face off the brutally wrinkled cushion. Tears had dried up to two sticky lines on the cheek. Ahem, tired of staging her tantrums, Lady Uterus had finally budged too. A soft abdomen sans cramps, a soaked napkin, and a stained skirt to be changed. Tea and snacks for the evening to be prepared. I opened the windows to let in the evening rays and breeze. I straightened up the cramps of my purple cushion, put her on my favorite reading chair, and together we decided to bounce back in shape for the evening, everything, and everyone that lay ahead. Over to you, Madhu, for your perspectives on tolerance.
That was actually heavyweight, Prathibha. You spoke about something that unfortunately or males like me can never comprehend how much ever we might be able to empathize with you females running through war and torment every month. Just give me a minute. But then there is something that I've uh, comprehended and I've experienced it myself. So the picture that you're seeing is in Himachal. So this particular hamlet is called Ki. Ki. So actually, it's not it can't be classified as a village because to have a village, you need a particular number of people, residents living in it. So there are a lot of hamlets like these in Himachal, Uttarakhand, and Ladakh, and Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, where that the population is so low that they actually don't get classified as villages. So I think if you are not, so this is the village. So the one on top is the monastery, and the one on the bottom is actually the village. And the nearest airport and the nearest railway station to this village, sorry, this hamlet is about 600 kilometers away, which is Chandigarh. So there are only two roads connecting the rest of the world to this one. So and if you take either of those roads, you're not going to reach from Chandigarh to here in nothing less than 3 days. It takes a minimum of 3 days. And I think right now we are all in a lockdown of about 8 months. But hamlets like these go on a lockdown every year since time immemorial, because once the snow starts falling pretty much in the middle of September, the snowfall itself in such high altitudes stay till end of May or early June, and then the meltdown starts. It's only in July that the place is connected to the rest of the world, and the roads are open for 3 months, and then snow comes and shuts it down again. And there are at least a dozen villages as remote as this one in Himachal itself. So, and if you take a look, you probably could see that it does look like a desert, but what's even more challenging is it's a desert at an altitude of about 13-14,000 feet above sea level. It's actually a high altitude desert, and there is a hamlet called as Kibber, which holds the Guinness record for being the highest inhabited village in the world. But unfortunately, a village that went into the Guinness books doesn't have neither electricity or a hospital. So during winter, what happens is the temperature dips as low as a minus 25 degrees centigrade, and you can see the next hamlet or the next place where humans inhabit is at least 50-60 kilometers, and the only way to move is through horses or by on foot. But I mean, we all crib a lot about lockdown and everything. Believe me or not, in the country, Himachalis, especially Spitians, are considered the happiest in the country because they just don't tolerate, they accept whatever nature throws in us. And I really think there's only one difference between us and them. We try to struggle to tolerate with what's thrown on us, but then they take it with a smiling face and they accept whatever it is because they think that whatever is thrown on them and themselves are one and the same, which are parts of nature. So if they could live happily in such remote areas, I really feel no reason why people in cities, you know, are fall into depression and all that. Probably living in cities is tougher than living in such hostile environments. Back to you, Ritu.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Gopika, for this. It made me feel the pain of the mother and tolerance again through your strings. And I think after Pratibha ma'am's, I've listened to this poem quite a many times now. But every time I hear it again and again, I can feel you, ma'am. Gunapriya ma'am has put in the chat box that she needs to give you a tight hug. I think all we girls need to give you a tight hug. Thank you, ma'am. And sir, you never fail to surprise me every time. And this one is my personal favorite of all the collages that we will be doing this evening. Thank you. That brings us to the end of our second collage titled Tolerance.